Hey, well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Phew. So here we are for another live stream brought to you by Guitar College. the finest guitar program known to man. How's that for a build-up? Anyway, thank you for joining us. By the way, this is your live stream. It's because of you we're doing this. So if you join in and ask questions, that's exactly what we want. So we got Wes here working the cameras. Wes, say hi, Wes. There he is. Working.
Good. Good morning. Good morning.
Try to hold down the enthusiasm, Wes.
Oh, gosh, man. Taking a photo of you with that guitar.
That did it?
3 minutes before showtime is...
I know.
Love doing that. That's great.
I know. We got all totally off kilter.
We?
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you why, but in a minute. So Gail's working the board. Gail is back here at home because she's done babysitting our kids, our great grandkids. She was doing that for 11 days. She's immediately going to need a bottle of wine and a vacation to the beach. So anyway, so she's back, and so here we are to talk about some things. So where do we start? Well, let's start about, did you see these videos that Wes has posted? I'll tell you what, don't start there. Let's start with the song we just played. That is called Recordame, and that was taken from my Theory and Technique course, Volume 3, which I haven't done this song in at least a decade. But the song is a great tune, and the reason I have it in my course is because it has a Dorian thing going on with just round minor chords. The song goes A minor, it goes C minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then B flat major, B flat minor, A flat minor, G flat, C7, F, E. A lot of chords. And this song, they used to do it a lot at GIT. And I remember having private students, and they would come in all paranoid about this song. And I said, look, can you play a major scale? Yeah? Oh, you're golden. Okay? You're golden. Don't worry about it. Now, let's first talk about the melody. And on the melody, it sounds hard. I probably should have used a distortion guitar, but... All right, so now... It's got that string skip there. That's all. So, you got the string skip going up. And it's all about the picking. When you learn stuff like this, really, it's all about the fingering and the picking. So if you get that together, and so make a conscious effort to get that together. Now, I'm going to shift positions. So just play that all with your little finger. Can't you do that? Yeah, I could do that, sure. Okay, good. And then you play the same lick again in a different key. Now, the reason I had you move up like that is because when you sit down here, see, it's too hard to make that jump. So you've got to plan this ahead of time. So you got to plan that ahead of time. Okay, then once you're done with that, everything else is golden. Okay, so it's not that hard. Remember, it's all about fingering and picking. And when I would explain that to them, they would get it. They could really get it, and they weren't so paranoid. Okay, so now we talk about soloing, right? You got an A minor chord for 4 bars. What key is that? G. So you do G, right? And now it goes C minor. What key is that? Well, that's Dorian. It's B flat. So anything you play in B flat major is going to sound good. And then where does it go? It goes to B flat, right? So you stay in B flat. Is once now B flat minor. As soon as that chord hits, you're in the key of A flat. And just play major scale. And then it goes to A flat. As soon as A flat minor hits, you're in the key of G flat. So practice your scales. So G, B flat, A flat, G flat. After G, and then F. And then for the E7, play some weird thing. And once we would go over that, and I'd yell them to change the key, forget about the chords, just the home key, and they did fine. So, and the reason I brought this song up is somebody called it at that gig that I was at, that Black Orpheus thing came from. And we didn't do it, but they called it. I don't know why we didn't do it. But I thought, oh, yeah, I remember that tune. Yeah, that was fun. So that's Recordame. And I included it in part of the Theory and Technique Volume 3 was the second lesson. I think Gail has the links up there in the description. You know, I have this huge audio course that was fantastic, I thought. And it was, and for years. But then video became so popular. Now we got to have videos. Got to have videos. You know, and now they got to be 4K videos and stuff. And I'm thinking, well, Joe Pass, he didn't have videos. And Howard Roberts, they had records and stuff, you know. Music is a listening. It's a listening art, not a visual. Although visual does help, granted, no doubt about it. Okay, that's my spiel on Recordame. What did you think of that, Wes?
It was good. The track is funky. I mean, how old is that track? Weird. I love that. Like the.
Oh yeah,
The weird synthesizer.
That, by the way,
tones
that's when you had to make a track. It's sequenced, but I played all the parts.
Right. Yeah. So.
You don't like that sound?
Might be time to get back into Band in the Box and make a new.
I thought it was a pretty cool track. You didn't think it?
I mean, it's just some.
I was looking for a sound like that. I'm gonna put it on one of Chris's tunes, Chris Montez's tune.
Oh yeah, that'll be real hip. It's such a modern and cutting edge sound.
You think so?
No, I don't think so. I think it sounds funky. It just sounds like the 80s. It screams the 80s.
Oh.
So.
Okay, well, then it got to be. You know, luckily, regular instruments don't go out of style, do they?
No.
Like a trombone or a chicken clucking.
Or, yeah, like a piano.
A piano.
Like, wouldn't it sound better if it was just piano doing that instead of, it was like, you know? I don't know.
never mind.
Yeah, I would personally, I would distance myself from that on the Chris Montez new album.
Okay, all right, you got it.
Yeah.
All right, so did you see the list? Here's the videos that we posted, or Wes did last week, the 7 best cities. Remember that? Posted that. And then the solo on Black Orpheus. And the story about the headstock. And boy, you posted a lot of videos.
Yeah, I posting stuff every day basically now.
What was the one? I've always wanted one of these Gibson's fat body. That was the 150?
Yeah, the ES 150.
Should have brought. That's what I should have played this tune with.
You still have that for sale, right?
Yeah. And then Joy Spring. And then the sequence. Do you know the jazz sequence? We posted that.
Yeah, if you don't subscribe,
They don't get all these, right?
you should subscribe right now and get a new video every day. For
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Jeez, man, we're working so hard.
Yep.
Might as well take advantage of that.
Do you like how too? I put on there now like a cold open.
What's a cold open?
So cold open is like a little snippet from inside the video.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning, you know.
Yes.
And then like a little funny moment, and then takes a little time to find those moments, but
Yeah, because they're rare.
that is
That's a rare moment.
that's what you would call a cold open in a TV show.
Okay, so Jim Rolfe is with us today. Hi, Jimmy. What's happening, man? And Andrew, New Jersey. JPJ, playing this beautiful, deserves a better rhythm section. You got that right. Greetings, nice heritage. Mark, hi, Mark. Can you please play Going Out of My Head? Well, we did that last week, but I like that tune. We should use a different guitar. Because that track is so old, by the way. I had to, it was probably taken off a cassette. So the cassette is out of tune,
Wait, what? A cassette is out of tune?
Yeah, it's running running too fast, so it's up, to it's A450 instead of A440. So
Hey, Richard Jenkins just popped on here and said hello from Albert Lee, Minnesota.
what? No way.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's where I was born. Albert Lee, Minnesota. Gosh. What's happening over there, by the way, in Albert Lee, Minnesota? Wes and Corey went back there, my other son. And by the way, my dad's, that one memorial they got there, the World War II memorial, where you buy a name in a brick or something. So my dad's name is there, and his brothers, Ray and Orville Severson. And then, gosh, the the graveyard in Clark's Grove. Clark's Grove is where my cousin lives now. Clark's Grove, there's a graveyard there. And anyway, my great-grandfather had a brother, Nelson, his name was, and he became a senator. Anyway, he's buried out there too.
Awesome.
Albert Lee had the Hormel factory where they made all this stuff. Hormel factory, and the whole town smelled like something died.
Like a slaughterhouse?
It was a slaughterhouse. That's what it was. The whole town was
That's a great smell.
built around a slaughterhouse. And I remember Gail and I, when Amy was 2, so that was 50 some odd years ago, went back to visit my grandmother, and we got there at night. And in the morning, Gail woke up and she started walking all around the outside of the house thinking, there's got to be something dead out here. That's the whole town. Anyway.
Yikes.
Richard, so what's not a thing?
Not a thing is going on in Albert Lee.
Oh, not a thing. Okay, what about my grandmother's house was on Fountain Lake, right where the parking lot is to a bank right now. So they tore down the house, made a bank parking lot there.
Anywho, Jeffrey Hyman says, I love that Sweet 16. I'm a big Heritage fan. Have been since 1991 when I got my first Golden Eagle.
First Golden Eagle.
Yeah. Yeah. How many Golden Eagles you got these days?
That's great, man. Can't have too many Golden Eagles. I'm going to sell this one, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, you are.
And
you had a guy over here yesterday. I was wanting to buy it.
I know.
Yeah, he might be watching right now.
He might be.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. Richard?
Richard knows exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Where that house was. And there was a grocery store next door called Dow, D-A-H, something, I don't know. And my grandfather, by the way, my grandfather was a barber. And you know who came from Albert Lee? Eddie Cochran. Eddie Cochran, Summertime Blues, came from Albert Lee. And I was thinking, I wonder if my grandfather cut his hair as a little boy. And isn't that funny? I think it's funny. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm trying to control the laughter back here, but it's tough.
I mean funny, queer, odd.
Got it. Mick Mac's in the house. Hey, Mick Mac from, I believe, Switzerland, right? What do you think about books like George Van Epp's Harmonic Mechanism for a Guitar?
Yeah, is that the one that's written in treble and bass clef? Yeah, the guitar is written on the music page an octave higher than it sounds. So George decided to write it in the way it actually sounds, so it's in bass clef too, so it's like a piano, I think, if that's the same one. So that is, I think it's a great book. I don't have the book. If I recall, when it first came out, it was rather expensive. So I didn't buy it.
Nice.
It's either you want to eat or should I buy this book?
Todd Richmond is here. He's from Lompoc. He was chiming in last week. He says, good morning from Lompoc. Was watching Rick Beto's video on Wichita linemen, wondering if that's in Rich's repertoire. Would dig a jazz version of that.
Yeah, that we used to do. My group used to do that tune, but it was a piano feature. So I forget how it goes. I never. I am. I don't know it. That's apparent.
Al said, the headstock always brings a tear to my eyes. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. The Sweet 16?
The Sweet 16 headstock? Me no like Sweet 16 headstock?
I love when you get over there and adjust the audio board. It just makes me nervous.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this guitar here I just got. Well, I didn't just get it. I got it a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Another 805 Eastman. And these guitars are so sweet. And they're priced right, too. You know, they're in the mid-teens. And so this one is in gorgeous shape. The sunburst finish. Shall we show them the guitar, Wes?
Yeah.
So it's...
Oh my God.
Scared you, didn't I? Yeah. So three-piece neck, maple neck. Beautiful solid woods. Floating.
What kind of woods?
Well, this is maple. Maple. Spruce top. Maple sides and back. Ebony on metal. Ebony bridge. Ebony tailpiece. Thumb volume here. No tone control. Oh, that's why. I was going to put on a tone control. I don't know if I will. If somebody really wants it, I will. Got a nice acoustic. It's acoustically one of the loudest ones. So beautiful headstock. Get that camera in focus there, will you? Headstock. Let's look at the back of the headstock. I mean, it's in gorgeous shape.
How old is it?
I don't know.
Why? I don't understand how you don't ever are never curious about the ages of the guitars that you get.
Well,
You're always just like, I don't know. That's some year.
Yeah, what difference does it make?
Well, I mean, if I was buying a guitar,
Yeah.
I would want to know what year it was made. That's why I think it's important because
Okay, 2005.
yeah, and
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
is it that hard to
Well, it's hard to find unless you've got the little piece of paper in the case, which this doesn't. That says
right?
when it was made. It's hard to find that out.
Because I mean, I don't know. For me, I would if one was a 2017 or a 2007. I might want the older one, or the newer one, or whatever. If someone's interested in buying it, I think that's a point that they would want to know. I don't know. Am I wrong about that, guys? Because I feel like it's just important.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know. You always treat it like it's just some afterthought. Whatever. It's 2000s. 2000 what?
Yeah.
So
it's not that important to me. The guitar itself is what's important to me. You know what I mean? So the condition of the guitar. Yeah, and a lot of we were like this Johnny Smith, okay, that we're going to talk about. My friend who it belongs to, he said, I can't find the year on it. I've got the serial number, 67898, something like that. 67896 is the number. And I can't find the exact year of it. And, so, nowadays Gibson puts the date right in the serial number, which is a smart idea. But listen to this acoustically. Check this out. Anyway, nice acoustically sound. This isn't on the website yet, so you'd have to call me. Okay, so anyway, Eastman 805 CE AR 805.
So what's the pickup in there?
It's the Eastman one, designed by Kent Armstrong.
And then what? Who is that guitar good for? Who?
I think it's good for any fingerstyle guitarist. Likes to sit around and play fingerstyle and what have you, and just mess around. Taking it out to a loud gig would not work, I don't think. But taking it to a softer gig, perfect. It's got a beautiful, natural tone. Nice combination between acoustic. Actually, maybe you ought to shut the overhead off. You can hear it just that way.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, that sounds good for sure.
Yeah.
Someone better buy that thing up. That thing, those go pretty quick, right?
Yeah, the last one went really quick.
Well, they're just priced right, you know.
They are. They're, like, this is what's,
You don't have to.
think like 16. And you're talking about a solid wood guitar. I think that's pretty dang good.
You can keep all your limbs if you buy that, as opposed to buying a Gibson that's going to cost you an arm.
Arm and a leg.
Right.
Yeah, keep your limbs. That's good. That's funny. Yeah, so I set it up and everything's hunky-dory.
What all did you do to it again?
Well, I cleaned it up. I had to do some of the fret ends were a little rough, so I worked on the fret ends a little, smoothed it all out. It's very smooth now. It's this side that's really important. This side, you never, so I did that and hydrated the fretboard and
Explain that one real quick for
Just,
those of people that don't know.
Yeah, a little. When they get dry, they might start cracking. So you want to keep that hydrated. I just use a little linseed oil in here, maybe once every 6 months, on the fretboard. Depending on where your guitar is, where do you live, and all that. That might not even need to do it that often. You can tell when it starts getting. Ebony should be a dark black color when it's hydrated, and if it starts looking grayish, then it's time to get a little bit of stuff on there. So just that, and that was about it.
Nice.
I might put a tone control on here. I kind of like having a tone control. I was going to talk about yesterday on the reharmonization of it. You want to do that now, or?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do it with something that's got fret markers. So let me grab another guitar.
Okay. So there's some questions here.
Hi, Kirby. Kirby what are you doing in Agora Hills? I thought you lived in Newbury Park.
Yeah.
He's probably at his girlfriend's house.
Laura Vault, he is from India joining us. So how's it going? And he was asking you, would love to see Rich play Straight No Chaser sometime, or Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Is that Goodbye Pork Pie Hat?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm a big Monk/Mingus nerd, and I'm trying to make a chord melody of these.
Oh, a chord melody of Straight No Chaser? Huh. Sounds like a lot of... Where's my tuner? It sounds a little rough. So, Mark wanted to hear Going Out of My Head. I forgot about that. Maybe I ought to get the...
You need to just pick something and do it.
Okay. Too many options.
Yeah. Let's see. Adam Falk said, afternoon, Rich. Do you know the song On the Street Where You Live?
Well, I've played it. I don't know if I could play it right now for you. I couldn't. I know. On the street where you live. Da 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 da. Wait a minute. Da 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 da. What a sweet notion. Just the fact that you're on the street of somebody you got a crush on, and you feel exuberated because of that. Just being close. I mean, they don't write songs like that anymore, do they? It's too, it's not sexy enough. You gotta You know, got to have sex in there somehow.
I was interested in you playing the straight no chaser chord melody.
What's going on with this?
I don't know.
Just harmonize it and force. You know, yeah. I think he doesn't like that, and then that's interesting. Just do that in whole tones. But I used to go like this. Ah, crap. You know, something's wrong. I need to work on this guitar. Let's get something else. Something's going on here. They go out of it. You know, I have the tolerance so close on this. So when you go to play it and you don't keep it up on it, you know, you have to readjust the neck.
Funky Dead Fish is here, and he asked how come Wes never plays. And that's because I'm not a jazz guy. And I do not...
Why don't you take my course, Wes?
I don't have time. Basically, I don't know. I don't know. I'm too busy going surfing and to the gym and working on this live stream.
Gee, I wish I had time to go to the gym like you.
Well, you make it a priority, and then you do it. But no, I would like to play. I need to start. One of my goals is to start getting. I'm more of a songwriter type, so I like writing songs and strumming and that sort of thing. So I think you guys would get rather bored of me playing on here. So that is why. Let's see.
Yeah, I forgot. This thing plugs in up here. Yeah. Wow, it works. So this is a friend of mine, Johnny Smith, and he gave it to me to kind of. I think he wants to sell it. He does want to sell it, but so I had to work on it a little. And so we were going to feature it today, just kind of, and Gail said, why don't you do it before you work on it, bring it out so you can show it to everybody. But then I thought, well, you want to hear it too, and I couldn't even, I couldn't play on it very well. So it doesn't have a strap button. So isn't this a cool little thing? See this thing here? You ought to get a close-up on that, Wes. And this is what Wes Montgomery used to do, right? He didn't have a strap button either. So he would use something like this. You know, it used to be just a piece of string. Remember those straps, a piece of leather you put through there and tie it? And but this has got a strap button right there. I think it's put out by the Martin Company.
So Straight No Chaser, you played that at your gig this last week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm gonna post a video of that pretty soon, I think. Yeah, it was good.
I think that's what Monk does, something like that. You know, what's nice about this, having this particular strap like this, is the guitar neck is right here. It's not out there, it's right here. It's like, wow. It is right here. Crazy.
It looks uncomfortable though.
It's not the best. I don't. Yeah, it is. So that's like a blues and F, Straight No Chaser. Blues. Where's there a blues? Blues.
Mick Mac said, I'm going to write a song about a guy who took a stroll with a very hot chick, and when she noticed the guy, they finished with a jogging. There you go.
Okay.
Let's see. Kirby asked, did you have ever have any classical music training growing up?
Well, yeah. I mean, I played piano, and then I studied music in college. So, yeah. We used to analyze Bach chorales. Sit around and, you know, you look at all the notes and you think, oh, okay, that is a D-flat 7 chord. And then you look at all these notes. Oh, okay, that's a A-flat minor. You know, it's... By the way, I had a friend in that class who could hear a Bach chorale played on a record and sit down and play it, remember it, and it was unbelievable. That was Bob Holland. You know what I'm talking about, Jimmy. Okay, you're going to have to raise the track on this. something like that. So yeah, this Johnny Smith, kind of different sounding, isn't it? So I want to work. I worked on the neck a little bit on this, just trying to get the neck really straight, and hydrated the thing and cleaned it up. I'm in dust all over the place. So here's what. See, the pick guard needs a little work. See how that has what do you say? Bent. So what you got to do is take it all apart, which is kind of tricky because this is glued onto the pick guard. This jack there, do you see that? That's glued onto the pick guard. So I don't know how we're going to do that. But you put it between a couple of pizza stones and put it in the oven for 10 minutes at about 150 degrees, and that will straighten right out. So I don't know, it came with this, it's got a Bartolini on it. I don't know what happened to the original, but I think it's got a nice sound. And it's got the low frets, which is from the period, and 1 3/4 nut width. Got kind of a throaty sound, doesn't it? So you got your L5 tailpiece. Johnny Smith has a steeper neck angle, is what I've read, than an L5. So in other words, the neck angle puts more down pressure on the bridge. Do you see how big the bridge is? The bridge seems to be bigger than other guitars. If you can see the foot of that is a little bigger. So it's also not as deep as an L5. It's 3 inches, 1 3/4 inch nut width. This one's got a beautiful back.
Oh, that is sweet.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? Now
Yeah, that's a trippy grain.
that's
pattern
2
right there.
bookend pieces. So yeah. So yeah, solid woods.
Yeah.
Solid spruce top. No cracks in the top at all. It's got some checking down here by the F hole, like if you can see that, and a couple little knocks. My friend thought it was a 64. The headstock. Let's look at the back of the headstock. The headstock is in beautiful shape. I mean, the guitar it actually spent a lot of time on the wall because it was filled with dust. And there is the headstock. So it's in beautiful, beautiful shape. I don't know exactly how much he wants for it. So you'll have to email me and I'll talk to him and we'll see what he wants for it if anybody's interested.
What do you think? How does that thing sound to you compared to L5?
Well, they're completely different because of the bridge configure or the pickups.
Right. Well, which one do you like better is what I'm asking.
Well, I like them both because they're both different. You know, they're different. The L5 is possibly a little smoother, but gosh, I think this is really nice for chord melody, and it's just nice axe all around, man. So they're just different. Just a hair different. That's all.
What's the sort of price? What would you put that thing on, like a value? In ballpark, you know. I mean,
Well,
it's a 64.
Go look on Reverb.
And
Look on Reverb and see.
well, what would you say?
Well, look at. There's an asking and there's a getting price, and unfortunately, you see a lot of the asking prices on the Reverb, but there isn't too many getting prices. So I would say this is in the ballpark of maybe 7, 8,000, something like that.
So
Yeah, look at that. Come on.
this
Okay,
one's
there's-
got 2 pickups.
Yeah, this one had 2 at once, but it was weird.
Wait, it did?
Well, see how it's notched out here for a pickup? I don't know what's going on with this. It's notched out here for a pickup, but there isn't any other tone controls for the pickup. So I don't get it. I have a feeling the original pickguard went south, as they do, and so this is some kind of replacement that not my friend, he's had this guitar for 20 or 30 years, but just kind of never played it,
Right. It seems like a majority of these have 2 pickups, right?
Yeah, you never use that pickup, the back pickup. So there's, 95? Is there a 64 in there that you can tell?
There was this one.
Where? For 15?
Yeah. That looks like it's in really good condition, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, so is this. This is excellent condition for its age.
But yeah, I mean, they're anywhere from 95 to 15, basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're not making any more of them. Let's play Going Out of My Head. Mark wanted that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that okay to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, I know you got an agenda. Here it comes. Ready? Get ready for the mix. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, King. I need to raise the action on this a hair.
Yeah, that thing sounds good. And I like it for sure. It's sounded good on that song. If you are looking for another song to play, where was that? Someone had a request up here.
Any questions about anything?
Not.
Oh, I know. We were going to do...
Jasper asked, can you play Take the A Train, please, on that Eastman? So maybe you could get that back out later.
Okay.
Take
Sure.
the A Train on the Eastman. There's a question from Mick Mac. I've worked on some of Rich's chord melodies, and they always sound so fantastic. Rich, could you give us some tips on looking for nice chords when playing chord melodies?
Well, basically, I guess it boils down to there's several things. Okay, so, let's say look at basically you could embellish any chord, with a ninth or 13th or whatever, depending on where the melody sits with the song. And then you can also, for instance, if I have a B flat chord and a B flat note, a 6/9, right? Yeah. But if I also want to do something to make it more interesting, I could play the 5 of it first. So that would be, let's say I have a song that goes, okay, I could go, so I'm playing the 5 of the chord first, and then to the chord. Or you could go the 2/5. You could go. And then move on from there. So being deceptive is always good when you have a predictable melody like. Right, like yesterday, I could go. Sorry, hard to play. This scale, this is so wide here, I'm not used to that. I'll do it in a different game. Hear how that's deceptive? So it makes it interesting. In that particular song, so there is an A minor chord. I could use a minor major 7. Right? Or the 5 and then the chord. How about this? Instead of, you could do things like that. So what I did here is I went a G, 13, to D flat, to E, to B flat 7, how it looks like. So those kind of things where you take a dominant chord like a G7 and you run it like up in minor thirds. And so I've got a G here, a D flat, an E, a B flat, and then crazy, huh? So that's some ideas on that. You want to, you want to try to be predictable yet deceptive at the same time.
Nice. Let's see. Jasper also mentioned that Straight No Chaser Jeff Goldblum has a good version of that, apparently. Didn't.
Yeah, he's a jazz pianist. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. He said there's footage on YouTube of Goldblum and Mildred Schnitzer on the Craig Ferguson show playing that.
Wow. Yeah, this strap thing, yeah, I got to have, I like it like this, so I can't seem to get this thing going the right way.
Danielle asked, do you use the same strings on hollow and semi-hollow guitars? I've noted a lot of semi-hollow guitars come from the factory with lighter strings. Lighter for blues players?
Yes, that's correct. Traditionally, that guitar is used as a versatile guitar, so combining blues and jazz and country, and so you need a lighter string. So they generally string it like that.
So the where you plug that guitar in, it's funky. That looks like it's gonna break. Like if you stepped on your cord and ripped it out, is that thing just gonna rip off?
It would. You don't step on your cord. Don't do that.
Or
You've got to make sure you run it up and around here. So that is funky. At least it's got a 1/4-inch jack. Traditionally, it came with this is a 1/2-inch jack, or phono jack, a little 1/4-inch mini plug. And then you had to have a little converter.
Why in God's name would they do that?
To make it so you don't have to put a hole in here.
Oh.
So, which I don't like, but that's the way it is. Dale Zdenek bought one of these from Johnny Smith. He called Johnny Smith and had Johnny Smith go over it for him, and he bought it from Johnny Smith's guitar shop in Colorado. And so that's a pretty nice guitar he's got there. But again, it's got that 1 3/4-inch nut width, which is not my most favorite. Whoops, I guess I didn't get the dust off of here. But I'm toying around, and I'm going to start doing it on some of my guitars, changing the nut to 9/16, like my L5. I sure like that.
Right.
Crazy, huh?
Right.
Call me crazy. Call me.
So, let's see. Laura Vault had a good comment here. He said, thanks for playing Straight No Chaser. And then he said, I see a lot, and this is something that I agree with. I see a lot of jazz guitar channels, but most of them are just lost in theory and probably can't play half as effortlessly as yourself. And then he said, I was happy with you mentioning me, and you went above beyond my expectations. So what I was saying is, I did a quick search the other day for you, because you guys probably, a lot of you know Jens Larson. He's huge on YouTube, right? He's got about 300,000 followers, 10 times as many as we do. But you look at his channel, and all of his videos are lessons. Every single, when you try to find a video of him actually playing, you can't.
Oh, really?
Like, it's hard. And there's a couple of them that I mean, I was looking for a few minutes just to see if like of him playing a song.
Well, obviously he can. I don't know. Maybe they don't get any views.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That, like you said, I think like I don't know that they're as good as you are at playing over all these songs and just being able to pick a song and play it. And I think maybe because he's got 300 and over 300,000 followers. You don't think there's people requesting, "Hey, can you play a song?" and so I could hear you improvise? Like, there's got to be those people reaching out to him and asking him. But when you, like I said, when you look at his channel, it's all like, jazz this, do this, do this. And there are all these little lesson videos. And then on his channel, I couldn't find any videos of him just playing a song. And then I searched for him improvising, and it was like someone else's video. And it was like a cell phone video of him playing at a gig. And he sounded good. It's not like he didn't sound good or anything like that. But I think the thing that sets you apart from a lot of other channels is you have so much variety of, you have lessons, you have guitar reviews, and you have you just playing the songs. And you're not like afraid to play the songs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's what, I don't know, I just see a lot of the big jazz guitar channels, they're so just straight about lessons only. Yeah, and I don't know, I just think
Well,
it's
you want to
little
put the
funky.
you want to put the rubber on the road, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, well, even maybe in some of his videos, maybe he uses his song and then plays the song or something. But it's hard to find videos of him going to town, and I just wanted to see like how good his solos were one day, and I just
Couldn't find
had a
them.
hard time. I found like one or two, but they weren't necessarily on his channel, or no, it's interesting.
Well, I'll tell you right now here. I tell you right now here, Wes. I did a gig with my teacher yesterday. Is that yesterday? Or the day before? Anyway, it was with Charlie Shoemate, who was a vibe player, played with George Shearing in, for a big, when Joe Pass and Pat Martino were in the band. And then, he wanted to get off the road, and so he started a teaching business out of his house in Van Nuys. And my friend Boyd Cannon encouraged me to go down and see him, and so I did. Made a world of difference in my playing. But Charlie's philosophy is basically this, and I agree with that. You can do all the analytics in the world. You got to be able to do that, but you got to be able to play too. And so his thing was, learning solos and analyzing them and all that stuff, and that's exactly what I do. And I was lucky at the time because I knew how to read. And Charlie says, "I think you're my most successful guitar guy because I could read. Some guys can't read, and you're out of luck then." So, and I just kind of stuck with it. So that's my philosophy. You got to know what you're doing. The Walter Piston's theory book, right off the get-go, it says, music theory is the analysis of music. It's not the creation of it. Okay, you can use it in your creation, but it's not the end all for creating. So you got to have a balance of both. So you got to have technique, got to have chops. You got to have ideas, and concepts, and theory, and you got to have vocabulary. So you get all those three things going, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
On the Road again asked, do you personally still do transcriptions?
No. I mean, I might sit down, I'll hear a solo, and I might sit down and work out a part of it, but I don't do a complete solo transcription, no.
Nino is here. Earlier, he asked if you could play a Wes Severson song, but I don't
What do you
think.
Wes?
Yeah, and probably not. They're too hard for you.
I know, yeah.
Too intricate. There's too much going on. And then he asked a question here. Why can't you find any Gibson Archtops on their website?
On whose website?
Gibson.
Because they don't make them anymore.
Don't they make that one? Or did they, remember we were looking at that thing not that long ago that.
With the new top that they made?
Right.
Yeah, they don't make that anymore. They don't make them anymore.
It was like in 2018 or something that they made them.
They don't make a 175 anymore. The only thing they make are 335s and Les Pauls and SGs and.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mitch Holder, and he was saying that when the new owners took over, they moved things around. They took their 2 carving machines that go way back to the 50s. They took those and they set them outside, and they forgot about them. He said they're all rusted.
Oh, bummer. They're not hidden in some secret vault somewhere like every other mysterious thing at the Gibson factory.
I don't know.
By the way, I have a video coming up in the next few days, and it's called, actually I think it's scheduled to post tomorrow, and it's called Gibson Does Some Stupid Shh.
Oh yeah, you have a video on you have that?
Yeah, it was about this one of the story I did in Guitar News a while back, and
Yeah.
and it's so stupid. It's like they do dumb stuff. They can't seem to get it right. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Hey, Bruce.